Welcome to the Anti-Loudness Loudness Club podcast. This is a video episode I am sharing with you here on YouTube as well because I thought this topic was particularly interesting and I wanted to share it with the YouTube subscribers for the studio as well as people who follow the podcast, the Anti-Loudness Loudness Club, which is every morning I'm there talking all things studio and audio. And what is it? AI mixing is here and I am excited. What I saw AI mastering do for the mastering game was great. You're probably asking, and it's going to piss a lot of people off, why was it great? It was great because low ticket mastering services, $20 a master, $15 a master, these people were leaving bad tastes in the mouths of clients back in the early 2010s, early 2000s, and AI mastering undercut that all. What that meant was the gap that AI couldn't fill increase the value of pro mastering engineers and put upward pressure on professional mastering engineers to not cruise by and actually put in graft for their clients, because there's a huge gap and a huge skill set good mastering engineers have that AI can't do. And that allowed there to be more value and more demand for those things. So ultimately, AI in mastering cut the chaff from the wheat. Now, my friend Will Borza recently released, in part with the team, OS Mix, and it's an intelligent audio mixer. I cheekily purchased it this morning without letting him know because I wanted to test it out. He told me about this concept over a year ago. I sort of brushed it off and he doesn't know I'm making this. So Will, if you are watching this now, congratulations on the project going live. I'm proud of you and wish you all the best in the future. But I'm not going to be reviewing that plugin today because I only spent like 15 minutes with it this morning. And after I've used it more, I want to share an honest review. Not one that's going to talk about how great it is, but one that is honest, because just even in 15 minutes, I saw a few things where I'm like, I don't know about that. But now, before I discuss the most significant opportunities AI mixing tools represent for mixing engineers in the industry, I want to let you know I'm currently preparing a masterclass called Studio Flow. Now, this masterclass will serve as the ultimate business toolkit for email, invoicing, and getting paid. And it's going to provide you with all the communications, email templates, mix agreement, and protocols you need to run a successful studio. If this can help more professionals manage how they respond to inquiries, set up their payments, deliver projects, and develop networks, this masterclass is going to be a success. So if you're interested in learning more about that, please click the link in the description for behind the scenes and early access to this masterclass by joining the newsletter at panoramamastering.com/newsletter. Back to the topic at hand, AI mixing and what I feel it will do for the industry. Number one, AI mixing will weed out the bottom feeders like AI mastering did for mastering services. Number two, it's going to weed out the high expectation, low budget clients. Number three, it's going to increase the value and demand of bespoke mixing services. And number four, it's going to put upward pressure on mixing engineers to simply do better. Let's dive into each of these four. Number one, AI weeds out the bottom feeders. In terms of mixing engineers, bottom feeders market industry standard or pro level or chart topping mixing services alongside a $100 price tag. Often, these are done with, I'm talking about like the more shadier mixing services out there. Okay, $100 price tag, industry standard. They got different prices for the different amount of stems. It's all tiered. And what often happens is expectations aren't met. I'm not saying that these are all bad services. I'm just saying when you put together a $100 offer against the industry standard and pro level, it sets an expectation for clients. They pay the money, and when they're disappointed, clients are left feeling shortchanged. Well, you know what these clients are now going to do with that $100 price tag that you're giving for these lowball mixing services? Well, they're just going to take that money and put it into tools that can do it for them. That's what's going to weed out. Now, like I said with mastering, there's still an expertise gap those tools won't provide people. Expertise gap comes with time in the game in terms of contextualizing mixing situations and communications with clients in order to achieve results. So what's going to happen? These $100 a mix or $100 industry standard mixers, which I don't understand how you get an industry standard or a pro level mix at $100. People do not make a living doing that. They're going to be cut out of the game. The same way it did it for $20 masters, cut out of the game, because AI will hopefully be at such a point that it can beat out those mixing engineers and give flexibility to those clients with those budgets, because clients spending $100 on a mix aren't necessarily clients who are going to frequent the services of a large scale production, in terms of they've got their recording down, they've got a producer on board, they've got a mixing engineer on board, a mastering engineer on board, they've got money behind them to do a campaign. They're a different client. So this is great because, and it's good because those clients are no longer left with that bad taste in their mouth when they spend $100 and don't receive something back that was promised in the marketing. What's going to happen is they're going to spend $100 on a tool and push that tool as far as they can. And then when there's a gap there that that tool can't do, they'll realize that they do need other professionals on board, and it's not going to cost $100. It does cost much more to get expertise mixing. So that's the first thing. It's going to weed out the bottom feeders. So for those mixing engineers that are sort of dropping their rates because they go, oh, everybody's undercutting me, this will be a good thing, because if you're actually really good at your job, you won't need to drop your rates super low, because then you'll be competing with AI mastering. AI mastering will take care of that. You will be able to sell yourself as an expert at solving solutions as a mixing engineer that AI cannot. The next one is AI weeds out the high expectations, low budget clients. Similar to this first point, but we've all had those clients that have exceptionally high expectations of what mixing is meant to bring. They're super tight with their purse strings, and they're a little bit over demanding. And over demanding, not in the sense that they request things, because we want our clients to request things to help the project get to their satisfaction, to push it, to push the limit, to actually make it sound much better than we could have on our own, because our clients have the vision. So we do want certain demands placed on us, certain requests provided to us by our clients. The high expectations, I mean, is when the production pedigree, or the pedigree of the production, the pedigree of the music itself, does not meet their expectation for the mixing process. So what AI will do is, AI mixing at least, in my hope and expectation, is that a lot of these clients will get these tools. So they tend to micromanage. They like to have more granular control of things. So they'll get these tools, these AI mixing tools, put their stems in, put their production in, and realize they're not getting the results they want. And again, this is where good mixing engineers with good value sets, with good experience, are able to fill in gaps, because they're going to try and push these AI tools, and these AI tools are going to spit out things that are good given the input, but not great given the expectation of the client. And then it's for the client then, or the artist then, to go, why isn't this getting mixed to the standard I want? And then they reach out to a mixing engineer, and a good mixing engineer will be able to diagnose issues within the production, in the material, in order to improve it before mixing. So it's going to weed out, AI mixing will weed out high expectation, low budget clients. Number 3, AI mixing increases the value and demand of bespoke services. Okay, it's going to naturally put pressure on low tier service providers, ones that promise the world and do it at a super cheap price and then do not meet the expectations of their clients. I've heard a million stories of this happening. I'm not saying all people who run at a low price do this, but I'm saying a lot. And even a lot of high tier services do this, and they leave a bad taste in people's mouth. But for the most part, AI mixing is going to cut the chaff down low in terms of low tier, low budget service providers who aren't doing what they're meant to be doing. And I think that's a positive thing. The better good operators we have in our profession, the better reputation we have as a whole, the better experiences artists and other people have as a whole engaging with us as engineers. And that is just a positive thing for the whole community, to enrich our craft, to enrich the respect, the trust, the value we have with the community who hires us. And finally, AI mixing simply puts upward pressure on mixing engineers to do better. Okay? You can't just follow a simple template. You can't just follow a simple process to get it from A to B, or a certain graph, or this, that, the other. You genuinely have to put time into your craft, and not just your craft, each and every project, to understand the nuance of what your client's vision is and how you can be the conduit to get it there. Okay, and that is the gap which AI will be lagging on for some time. And the further you as a professional are able to be really good at diagnosing production issues, understanding musical direction, the better you're going to be off for that. Rather than getting caught behind, upset a few clients, dropping your rate to sort of fill in time, and then eventually you're at a point where your rate is equivalent to getting AI mixing to take over. Not good. Anyway, that is my take on AI mixing. I will be doing a review of that tool, OS Mix, which Will has put out. When I do that, no clue. It will happen. But nonetheless, I thought this was an interesting topic to bring here to the YouTube channel and have discussion down below, because I know a lot of people will have opinions on this. But until next time, take care.